and I'm as excited as anyone to get back to my family, my coworkers. The office being at 1/64th the capacity it was from February 2020 to March 2020. It was just quite a big culture shock for many, and it's time. As I described, we're seeing COVID kind of sunset, if you will, a plethora of vaccinations out there. Are there any leading or lagging indicators you're both watching that demonstrate we're trending towards a return to our pre-pandemic state in our everyday lives? Why don't we start with Ted on that question, sir?
A lot of things are happening. I think one of the most exciting things that are happening is we're starting to understand a lot more about what COVID-19 means. I don't think that there's ever going to be a pre-pandemic normal that we're ever going to go back to. I think this is kind of something that's, obviously affected the world, kind of like 9/11 affected us here in America. It's a wake-up call, and we're going to have to live with a new normal. And I think, the conversation today is a bit of a discussion about what that new normal means. So I'm really excited. We're getting vaccinations out there. We're understanding more about the viruses and how things are moved around and how to sort of mitigate some of the challenges. But we also know that there's a lot of things we don't know, and we're going to have to figure out how to live with that moving forward.
Got it. Darren, how about you, sir?
Traffic gridlock.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm not getting out that much myself. I'm not going into the office. I'm quite content doing this work here. Working wherever I'm at that's my enterprise right there. But actually, a good leading indicator that I'm seeing a lot of is the requests for information that we get from small medium enterprise, and I'm getting a lot of people asking me for tips and tricks on how they can make everything that they do remote. And I'm getting these requests from businesses that are not necessarily open yet. So you mentioned some restaurants and things like that coming back. So I'm getting calls to these restaurants, service providers that design and deploy networks for these restaurants, but also churches which are not really open yet, and houses of worship. They're planning for it, and that's a leading indicator. They're asking the questions. All right, we're freeing up budget now. We know we're going to be reopening in the summer, maybe the fall this year. So they're asking the questions, how do we plan for a reopening with the intent that, as Ted, you mentioned earlier, that the world we're not going to get back to a pre-COVID world. It will be a different world that we establish at the end of this year. And they're recognizing that fact. And they're saying, how do I plan for that future? How do I plan my IT budgets and my network upgrades really for the next time that this sort of a thing happens? And that's a request I'm seeing a lot from small enterprise and
Absolutely.
Service providers that service that market.
Yeah, if I could throw my hat in the ring there in regard to indicators, just, anecdotally living my life, and I've resumed travel and things like that. We have seen airlines historically, which never really stopped, but they certainly were very much impacted. You no longer see that middle seat being blocked, or now that is free to be it's free to be sold to patrons. You do see our sporting events. I'm a big fan of baseball, and baseball's in full swing now, pun very intended. And you see 25% capacity, 30% capacity. And so those are some of the leading indicators. And even going out to dinner and being allowed back into some certain restaurants, I'm very encouraged by that. And, it's our job as technologists, guys, to help keep people safe, offer real-time data.